Hi, this is James, and this is Earth Angel and Ascension 222. Tonight I'm going to make a quick video, and again, it goes to some questions I'm getting asked, just randomly by people that I pick up, and I drive Uber, like I said, and I do think, like I said, um, there are people that are aware to what's going on, and it's not COVID that has caused this uprising and division. My opinion on this is, um, this has been in a long time in the making. We're at a pinnacle point of like the rulers of this planet. Like I said, have always been the archons, the fallen angels, which are the demons are their kids, and basically the timeline is kind of close to the end, where their time is up here, and you know, it's a battle for souls right now, and the people, like I said, there's a system of like indoctrination. It's from cradle to grave. That's why everybody is immunized as a baby, because they want to check everybody out. They want to know everything about them. And like I said, the children of the Lord of God, that Father like handpicked, they know who's who, these things. And it's right in our DNA. It can't be, I don't know how they figure it out, but we're watched from cradle to grave, and we're never accepted by this system. So if you're going through like what I would call like scapegoating, narcissistic abuse, alienation, isolation, what's another good term for this? Abuse by proxy, meaning, because like I said, these narcissists are all connected. And somebody said, what are they connected to? I said, this hive mind system. This system runs through all of them. And what I mean by that, how does this system run through? Well, there's, like I said, from cradle to grave, there's this indoctrination. They use the schools. I believe the immunizations have, stuff in it that makes it easier for them to make everybody controllable by this, because these things that run this realm, just like when Jesus was here, are scared to death of anybody that represents the other side. And what is the other side? Like I said, that's Father's children, the one this system does not work on. And here somebody said, well, why don't they just why don't they just get rid of Father's children here? Well, I'm going to give you the answer to that. Our energy. There needs to be a certain amount of us here. Otherwise, this can't exist here. And when we're here, we're like a cushion. And, like I said, it definitely boils down to that term scapegoating too. Like, they do these things, and everything is a spiritual consent. So when they do these things, they're never going to take responsibility for what they do. When they do these like abusive things and try to scapegoat us for doing it. Well, because in the spiritual realm, like I said, everything is based on a consent. And if they were doing this, and there wasn't a few of us, like I said, scapegoats or cushions here, this realm could not exist. It could not last any longer. So they can't take us out. So if anybody says, well, I'm being targeted and they're trying to kill me, well, they can't kill you. That's why, because there needs to be a certain number of us here. Otherwise, they can't be here. Do I think it would be like Father, like saying, well, obviously, if there's nothing here for him to save, then he's not going to keep it going, So they know they need us here. And here's the thing. If they're spending millions and billions of dollars on you, you got to understand this simple statement. Robbers do not rob empty houses. You have something very, very valuable. Otherwise, number one, like I said, they would have taken you out. Or number two, they would have just thrown you in jail, because it doesn't cost anything to throw you in jail. They're not spending anything. There's no manpower. There's no currency to keep you in jail, or there's a lot less currency than what they would have to do to continue this stalking program on you. I mean, when they're doing this gang stalking, they're using airplanes, drones, constant helicopters, and people watching every move you make. This is billions of dollars. So you're very valuable. So number one, stop seeing yourself as less than them. You're not less than them. They're not spending millions and billions of dollars on them. They're spending billions and millions of dollars on you and I, because, like I said, we're very valuable. Like, without us in this realm, or drawing off our energy harvesting us by trauma, they can't be here. And like I said, I do believe that without us here, Father would definitely have passed his judgment on this place. So there has to be a balance of so many of his kids here walking this earth. And our energy is super valuable. You're super valuable. Are we perfect? No, we're far from perfect. We're in a flesh suit, but our hearts are perfect. We don't go out of our way to inflict pain on them. We don't do something wrong and blame them. When we do something wrong, we take full responsibility. Unlike them, when they do something wrong, they need to find one of us to push it off on, because it's the only way they get a cathartic release is by doing one of these little things, like I said, these things that traumatize us, and then finding a scapegoat to make feel bad, as if, see what you made me do for being you. That's what this boils down to. If you were one of us, we wouldn't be doing this to you. And like I said, what does being one of them mean? It means indoctrinated in this satanic system. I watch the way these things walk. Somebody with a higher consciousness and higher energy centers, they have a sway in their shoulders. There's something going on. These things walk like robots. And somebody says, well, they're on their phone. No, they're not on their phone. I watch them walk. There's nothing going on there. They're flesh suits. Am I casting judgment on them? No. I'm just seeing what they are. It's like they have no ability to have empathy, compassion. Like I said, they go around, doing this, like these street theater things, or acts of violence, or things that just, they need somebody to target. Because when they do these things, it gives them like a sense of a superpowers here. Like they get like a high off of it. So don't think for a second that, they're winning and you're losing. Every day that you walk in a store, and like I said, you're not sin-free. None of us are. That's absolute. Myself included, I'm way far from being sin-free. I'm trying my hardest to be in obedience at all times. But what I will say is our heart conditions are true and perfect, meaning that we know when we do wrong, and we don't look for somebody to blame. We go inside and we try to fix it and take full responsibility. And we get on our face and apologize to God and say, you know what, Father, I fucked up. Please help me. I don't want to be like this. I want to be yours. But like I said, we're in a flesh suit just like they are. The only difference is, like I said, when they do something wrong, they're looking for somebody to pin the tail on the donkey, and like I said, we act as receptacles to this realm. Like we're a cushion here, so there has to, for as many of there are of them, there has to be a certain number of us. And like I said, not just to scapegoat, to harvest our energy. And they, like I said, when they do these little acts of trying to, like narcissistic abuse or neglect, it gives them a sense of like a high in this program, or gives them, in this system, I should say, in the satanic system, it gives them a high because, like I said, seeing us suffer gives them a release, and it gives them superpowers, in this realm. It makes them feel more powerful. See, you and I will never understand how that works, because we get our superpowers from Father in heaven. We don't need to harm others to feed off of them so we can make it another day here. And I don't know. I guess I want to end with right there. This system, I don't know how exactly it's run. But if you are targeted, you will have experienced this pretty much from the day you were born, that you couldn't quite fit in. You were never accepted by this. Well, what does the Bible say? It's absolute. Father says, my words are absolute and they don't change. And he said, if you were of the world, you're not of my own. If you were one of them, they would accept you as their own. So that's why you're not accepted here. You're not one of them. Like I said, you are a sinner. They're a sinner. But you're not looking for a scapegoat. You're not looking for a receptacle. You're not looking for an energy recharge off of somebody else. When you and I do something wrong, we take full responsibility. And that's the difference between us and them, is that we have the ability to make our own energy, and we take full responsibility for that. And we also are aware of other, and we don't try to put our stuff onto somebody else so we can make it another day in here. We make our another day in here by getting on our knees and being in obedience and, living every day, trying to get to that point of being sin-free. So if you've never been accepted by this system and you're kind of isolated, you're persecuted, rejoice. Father said he and the world are not our enemies. He's an enemy of the world. So if the world loves you, you're on the wrong side. He said, be not conformed to the world. If you were of the world, it would accept you as their own. He said he chose you out of the world. They hated him, so shall they hate you. So I'm going to end right there. Don't try to fit in here. Don't be like them trying to, project abuse onto others, lift others up. Even if they do something wrong to you, understand that, they're broken. You're broken, I'm broken. But like I said, the only difference is, we don't go looking for a scapegoat to fix our brokenness. We go inside and fix our brokenness. Like I said, some techniques are to deal with this sort of isolation is kind of get used to being in your own company, spend time with Father in heaven where they can't be at that moment. Because, today I went out and I was like, felt great. And as soon as I left my house and got in my car, a motorcycle started tailgating my car, and I tried to move over, and as soon as I moved over, he got right back on my car. And what he was doing at every light was just revving it as loud as he could, and it was unbelievable, and it was sad because that was my moment of prayer time that I needed to spend time with Father to get ready for the day. And then at the last light before you hit an intersection, he rode by me and just stared me down in my car, looking back haha, kind of thing. These, you got to understand what this is. These things know who we are, and they just jump into these people like vessels. And they've been following me since birth. And, I've had people that are around me that see it that still deny it. Because, here's the thing. As long as they're in that system still, they're never going to accept what you say. Because the system is basically telling them you deserve this. And you don't deserve this. You're a child of the Lord. You ask them this question: what makes you have rights and not what makes me not have rights? And that's another thing you could say to them. I have just as much right as you do. And they won't know how to answer that. What makes you acceptable and me not? They won't be able to answer that question either. Because there is no answer. They don't have an answer for that. What makes you, you really have to push these questions into these people. What makes you think you have rights and I have no rights? What makes you more important than me? So that, you don't have to, you can go somewhere and you're not messed with, but I have to be. Or you treat me badly, but you treat others well. These are questions you have to ask. I don't have all the right questions right on the tip of my tongue, but that one, like I said, what gives you rights and not having, what makes you feel like I don't have a rights? Because you'll notice if other people talk, it's they'll accept that. You go to talk, they'll try to silence you, or they'll try to bully you, or try to talk over you, or they'll try to, ignore you. These are all just narcissistic abuse tactics, trying to minimize you. Because deep down, I think they know who we really are. It's the things inside of them that knows who we are coming, to try to keep us quiet. Because as long as they keep us in that subservient role where you don't have rights, but I do, we're never going to ascend and be we're never going to be the earth angels and the heroes and the comic book heroes that we truly are if we believe their lies. See, so when they start doing this stuff, and the thing about this is, in this program, you and I, we're superheroes. The stuff we do, like I said, they couldn't survive 1 minute. So if that's the case, and I could do it for hours on end, like I said, I drive Uber through this 12 hours of gang stalking every single night I do it, nonstop. Fire trucks, ambulances, cars beaming me front and back, ambulances, fire trucks putting their thing out, people cut me off. They couldn't do this for 5 minutes. So what gives them more rights than you, And you got to think, it's not just on that level. It's every level, mental, spiritual, physical. They're not even on an inkling on our page, but yet they act more important than us. So what gives them more rights than us? This is the question I want every targeted person to start asking. Well, I'm going to tell you the answer right now. They don't have more rights than us. They see who we are, and they see that we're like superhuman, And it's not being narcissistic, it's being honest. Because we don't need to be indoctrinated in this system. We don't need to be part of the hive because we have our own power source and our own way of doing things. And that comes from a place of like supreme, sureness in ourselves. Because unless you were sure in yourself, you couldn't be that way. You would want to be just like everybody else and follow instead of being the leaders we are. So keep up the good work. Don't become one of them. Don't hate them. But, kind of get used to your own company, because the stronger this program comes against you and the more you start to ascend, the more it's going to come against you, because they want you to give up. They want you to change ship, and they want to break you. They want to make sure that you, just like Jesus, look what he had to go through to escape this realm, because he knew as long as he kept going, there's no way to fit in here. He wasn't gonna. He refused to fit in. And as a targeted person, you're his kids, you're angels here, and you have to refuse to fit in here. Do we do anything wrong? No. We're just being our own person. We don't hurt ourselves. We don't hurt anybody else. It's quite the opposite. They're the ones that do stuff wrong. They're the ones that need scapegoats for their actions. So keep being the superhero, the Superman, Superwoman you are. You are made to shine. And you are here to represent the Lord. So when they come against you for being you, the kind, loving soul that you are, the light that you are, just know that they are also coming against God, because you are his, or Father in heaven. I like to use that term instead. Father in heaven. They're coming against Father in heaven because you are his representative walking this earth. Until next time, God bless you.